Hey everybody, Odess here with the Access Control Executive Brief, and it happens to be Friday, March 28th, happens to be my birthday, so getting this out. It's the weekend before ISC West and then the security event, so I wanted to put together a brief and get out something to you to really get you my ideas and thoughts about what's I think is gonna be there and happen to a showcase. So put this together. It's called Two Continents, 2 weeks, 2 major security showcases, and it's a rare industry alignment. Here we go. In a remarkable alignment of industry events, security professionals have a pretty cool opportunity to witness the global security landscape unfold across 2 continents simultaneously. ISC West in Las Vegas and the security event in Birmingham create what I'm calling a security show lunar eclipse. A rare moment when North American and European security showcases converge within 2 weeks. It will also cause some enormous stress on many people's personal lives, but that's for another brief. I have a ton of thoughts and questions such as what trends will emerge on both sides of the Atlantic, where will priorities diverge, which technologies will dominate conversations in Las Vegas versus Birmingham, and I'll share my thoughts now in this brief on my most burning thoughts and follow up with an analysis highlighting where my predictions proved accurate, what I got wrong, where surprises emerged, and what these parallel events reveal about the evolving security industry worldwide. I aim to go beyond the obvious and offer fresh insights. Like many of you, we have a ton going on at both shows. There are countless activations at ISC West, the security event with the X Forum, and the Night of Access. The energy is fantastic, and I want to extend a heartfelt thank you. All of our events and activations are oversold, and it's a testament to this amazing community. So please stop and say hello if you see me running at the show. I want to make sure we connect. Safe travels, Lee. So here they are. First one, they are LinkedIn shows. I will start with a personal one that is still relevant. You may have noticed that Pelco has officially rolled out a company influencer alongside HID and Mercury. So what does this mean for the 2 shows? This is the year when online presence becomes very clear as the more important driver than physical presence. Historically, online was just a side hustle, a booth photo here, a group shot there, but it never truly connected with driving business, capturing the show's essence, or driving narrative on the show floor. The power of influence remained firmly offline. Countless people and companies are building their brands online, particularly on LinkedIn. It's starting to drive more business than traditional channels, and without a doubt, it's driving a share of voice. It's also reshaping how trust and relationships form in our industry. We don't just meet locally or wait until the next show to catch up anymore. We're building relationships year-round and globally. In these digital connections, the content being created and the new forms of discovery are challenging long-held industry assumptions. Consider this. Would I have been invited to join the Security Industry Association board if not for the work that Hillary and our team and I have done primarily on LinkedIn? I doubt it. I can promise it wasn't due to my offline presence. It was both. But if I had to choose which drove the awareness of who we are and what we do, it was our online presence that led. We're witnessing the dawn of a new era of influence in our industry, and these 2 shows will demonstrate something unprecedented. Those who've been consistently building their presence online, especially on LinkedIn, will wield significantly more influence at these shows than ever before. Geopolitical juxtaposition. Parroting what is happening in the real life, ISC West will demonstrate the U.S. market's opportunity dominance, while the security event will showcase Europe's growing desire for self-reliance. I suspect companies will adapt their narrative based on the location. European firms will emphasize their U.S. connections at the ISC West show, highlighting their need for American scale, investment, innovation, and credibility. Yet just 48 hours later at TSE, these same European companies will proudly assert their non-U.S. identity. The reality? Both positions are authentic and accurate. I hope companies and people at the shows don't overshoot here by being obnoxious. I think there is an interesting discussion to be had on how geopolitical challenges are impacting our industry, and we collectively should work together to maneuver through it. Next, real concern about the economy. I suspect this is a massive topic at both shows, but most likely we will be discussing them very differently. The 2 topics underpinning the economic concerns are 1, the U.S. use of tariffs, and 2, ongoing wars in Europe and the Middle East. It will be interesting to capture the tone, sentiment, and thoughts around this based on the show's location. What will be discussed? Here are some thoughts on the topic. This uncertainty will significantly impact large organizations' investment in innovation as they reduce spending. These organizations now have the perfect excuse to focus on operational efficiencies, quote, quote, which is code for, quote unquote, cost cutting and holding pattern. However, this climate will boost M&A activity as many incumbents have substantial cash reserves, while underperforming independent companies struggle to raise additional capital. This doesn't mean private investing will decrease. It will continue to grow in the thriving segments of the security sector, particularly in access control, virtual guarding, and smaller companies showcasing AI capabilities. That is just a taste of the uncertainty's impacts on the industry. All of that aside, I am sure plenty of conversations will be centered around feelings and opinions. It would be a lie if I said I didn't care. I really do. These are some uncertain times, and as a community, I believe it is okay for us to come together, talk, listen, share our thoughts, opinions, and experiences, and work things out. I've gotten used to this as part of, quote unquote, my job now. With all the travel, there's a certain level of mutual intrigue in my and your opinion on matters like this. I don't profess to be an expert on geopolitics, by the way, but I do live in Washington, D.C., so there's a certain level of curiosity on the subject that comes with living here, along with the appetite to hear different interpretations, thoughts, and impressions from people all over the globe. All in all, I suspect this to be a major topic at both. New stakeholders walking the halls. You'll see many more investors walking the halls of ISC West. I'm not sure if this will be true at the security event, but I'm interested in finding out. This will be noticeably different from what I've seen before. The number of investors I've spoken with who will be at ISC West is encouraging. This is excellent news because it will drive more investment into our industry. It will also distinguish between companies with investable businesses and those without. Historically, our industry has been top-heavy with non-investable entities for the mainstream financial markets. But as reoccurring models grow, so does the number of investable businesses. Note, not every company with a reoccurring model is investable, so I'm not suggesting that. As the number of businesses with reoccurring business models increases, think of it as a growing lake, we'll see more investment flowing into that lake. I suspect we are just at the beginning of a lot of financial news, and ISC West will be the starting block. Next, new faces, new places. Speaking of new, we will see an influx of people entering the industry, vendors, end users, integrators, specifiers, and others. Due to our industry's opportunities, I suspect attendance will be way up at both shows, along with records of the number of booths and companies. The industry is steady, and where there's a steady opportunity, there's growth. And where there's growth, people follow. With recent layoffs in the U.S., including 10,000 cuts in health and human services just this week, we'll likely see former end users transition to integrators, consultants, and vendor roles. As our industry evolves from cottage to mainstream, I expect this workforce expansion to continue. Next, on that, what I hope to see but probably won't, I'm particularly interested in how companies address training and certification needs as we enter this new era of physical security that merges cybersecurity and enterprise software with our traditional systems, also known as converged security. I haven't seen our vendors set up yet. We do see training offered at both shows, but not as programs like the ones I'm talking about. Still, I hope manufacturers and service providers will develop new channel programs that meet current market demands. I wish they'd give these programs the same attention they give to flashy new features with blinky lights, which rarely matter or have lasting impact. Despite all this new stuff, quote unquote, we still rely on outdated programs. Next up, old faces, new places. We're seeing significant movement of people between companies lately. It reminds me of sports leagues off-season, where players switch teams and don new uniforms. The pace of people transitions has noticeably increased this year compared to previous years, particularly at the executive levels. This shift raises interesting questions about loyalty, the intersection of new and old ideas, and how organizations invest in talent acquisition. Are companies making the investments in their people needed to drive exponential rather than incremental growth? Gallup awards aside, the race for talent continues unabated, and people remain the most valuable asset in our industry. However, not often discussed, is that sometimes there's addition by subtraction when someone leaves an organization to go to another. The impact of these moves may be felt more strongly at the companies people leave rather than where they land. I've seen a few cases where I believe this is true. Next up, end user dominance. It's evident at ISC West, while the security event remains primarily integrator focused. This mirrors ISC West earlier years with the security event, like IFSEC before it, typically trailing ISC West trends by a year or two. This year might mark a significant shift in attendance demographics, as seen plainly by more end users attending ISC West. Next, mobile is the sidecar to platform and AI. This is the free version for non-members. If you'd like to hear the rest of this and even more content and more information, please take the time to sign up and become a member. We'd love to have you. If you don't become a member, that's okay too. We love having you in the LinkedIn community and seeing you in person as well. So we'll have more of these coming out to the marketplace, and we're happy to have you. So thank you very much.